Hey, hello to all. Thank you for connecting with us. Today, I am really happy to have one of my friends, leaders, and we are working together in this neuroencoding world and helping people to understand what is that and how to work with that. So, thank you for accepting this invitation, David. It's amazing to have you here with me, and I know that we are going to have a lot of fun today. So, this is great.
It is. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here with you, Alejandro, and to share the space with you.
Awesome.
The
So,
blessing.
David, just to let you know how this works, and this is always something that I do, I always start with who you were. Who was David before, in a moment that you can start to say, like, okay, in that time I didn't believe in myself. I was going through these problems, these issues. I want you to share a little bit about that, some even as much as you want. But the idea is to know you as how you were, and then we're going to start to move to okay, how you started to believe in yourself
Hmm.
and suddenly who you are right now.
Absolutely. So I have kind of a broken childhood. My first memory of my father was I was probably like a 2 year old sitting at a maybe less than that. I was at the high chair and I was doing what 2 year olds do sometimes. I was crying, I was throwing a fit, and my father threw, I believe it was a fork or knife, and it went right by my head. And first he starts anyway. From that moment on, I hid. I was scared to death of him. So it was my first real memory of him. So for a long time after that, I just he came home, I hid, and I got really good at hiding, and it saved me when I was a young kid, but it haunted me uh, as I became an adult because I shrunk from male authority figures. So that was my identity. I attached that identity to a male authority figure was dangerous, and so fast forward to my junior high, I was a pretty good basketball. I was a good athlete, starting point guard on our seventh grade basketball team. We came one game from going to the state tournament. The team that beat us won the state tournament that year. The next year in eighth grade, I had a different coach. This is the power of coaching. Different coach, same team, same kids. But because I came from a lower status family, I couldn't get on the court. We didn't win the conference. We didn't go anywhere. And I remember uh, none of my family ever came to watch me play basketball. And I remember it was a cold fall October day, raining. Uh, School bus drops us off. I don't have anybody pick me up. I'm 2 miles from home. So I'm walking home in the rain, dejected. And I remember I can smell it right now. I know the exact oak tree I was standing under. That's when I gave up. I was like, nobody cares. I felt abandoned. I felt rejected, and I never went out for sports after that. And I slowly fell into drugs and alcohol. By the time by my freshman year, I just fell into the smoke pit crowd, and without it, good guidance and the proper corner man, I just kind of floated through life, became mediocre. So then, I ended up marrying my childhood sweetheart, or my high school sweetheart. Had some kids, um, had a good 36-year marriage. Kind of started falling apart in my late in my 50s, and really what happened there was I started all those things that were feeding my spirit because I was doing Tai Chi. I had a radio show. I was a disc jockey for the local radio station, the Whip. And as the marriage started falling apart, I started giving up all those things that were feeding my spirit that I was really passionate about. I started letting them go because I thought, well, those things really weren't. She didn't really like it, so I just started peeling those off. But my mistake was my casual relationship with alcohol became not so casual. So I started filling that up, um, filling that hole up with drinking. and it got the best of me, and it really that was the catalyst that ended our relationship. I give Lori credit. She finally had the courage to leave, and I was clinging on to my old limiting belief that for better or worse we have to stick together. And boy, it was. I went into a deep depression. Uh, Hit my rock bottom actually March 17th, 2 years ago. Uh, so when I left home that morning, I wasn't coming home. I'd given up and didn't know what I was going to do, but I had given up that day. The creator, I might tear up. Uh, he had different plans for me. He's like, and I'd been getting some dreams, some very prophetic dreams, warning signs. And but that day, finally I hit my bottom. Uh, that's another story. I won't go too deep into that, but I knew it was my bottom, and it was time to stand up and make something for my life, and stand up and start showing up well for myself. And so I slowly, every day, I made a commitment. Tomorrow, I'm going to be sober. I'm not going to drink. I'm going to show up. And I started bringing back those rituals, those things that fed my spirit, putting them back into my life, and slowly started building those muscles of finding myself, really coming back home, finding my way back home into who I am. And it took a while, but I started getting healthier. So at that time, Alejandro, I was 210 pounds, stroke level, blood pressure, onset diabetes. My blood sugar was skyrocketing. My doctor said I was looking at a lifetime of and approaching cirrhosis of the liver. Scary. So I was like, well, let's start taking care of myself, and started taking the principles of Tai Chi, what my Tai Chi instructor, Dr. Yang Yang, used to always say, nurture yourself, nurture yourself. So I started bringing all those uh, teachings that I had that I shoved away, put on the shelf when I was probably 51, that fed my spirit. I started bringing them back in, and you know, that's really what healed me. And so then now I'm down to 165 pounds. My blood pressure's normal. My blood sugar's normal. When I did a blood test, an inner age blood test when I was right after I stopped drinking, and I was 59, and my inner age said I was 71.
Hmm.
The last blood test I took, Alejandro, my inner age now is 53 in a year.
Wow.
And that's just because I made the right choices. As opposed when I was 49, I made the wrong choices and I started this spiral downhill. And then once I finally thank the creator, he woke me up and said, you got work to do. There's people you can help. And then I started making the right choices, and everything started. I'm getting younger. It's amazing. It's never too late to have an amazing childhood. And so then a year ago in April, I joined the Brain Revolution, and that really escalated once I started studying Dr. Amen's work and Joseph McClendon III's work. Then I even got, my brain got healthier. I started learning mind management and how to understand how the mind works and the body works. And just, man, it was just lift off from there. It's like a phoenix rising. It's amazing. So,
Okay, let me go a little bit because your story is amazing, David. And something that I love about you is like your kindness, your peace that you bring right now, even to this call. That's part of who you are, and that's a way that you always present. Every time that I meet with you, you are like the calm guy that brings like energy. Everything is fine. Everything is perfect. You don't have to worry about anything. You can come with your brain like crazy, and suddenly talking with you like, oh, why am worrying about anything? So
right,
that's
right.
something that you bring to the space every time that you are there.
Well, thank you.
So from that point, I would love to ask you, when you started to study Tai Chi and to start to discover that part. I know that later you forgot about it and decided to, with the problem that you had, but right now I want to, if you can tell us a little bit, when you started to study that, what happened inside of you, what were the things that you started to learn to see like, wow, this is great, this, I love this because of these things. And
Yeah. So uh, first, I want to acknowledge my instructor, Dr. Yang Yang. Uh, he's amazing. Probably, if not, he's probably one of the top, if not the top, Tai Chi instructors here in the United States of America. He's based in New York City right now. Amazing, amazing man. Highly skilled. Came from China. Studied under Grandmaster Feng Zicheng, who in China is a living legend and was considered a national treasure there. So I've been blessed to learn from a guy that learn his lineage goes all the way back to Chen Village, from the great masters Hu Zhang and Chen Faka. So I learned the whole complete system. It's the movement, it's the meditation, and it's the qigong. And qigong is qi stands for energy, and gong means for work.
mm,
So you got good qigong in your interview skills.
mm,
So it just means you got high skill. And so um, I I would say the reason I was able to survive the abuse I put on my body is through the years that I did Tai Chi and Qigong, because it strengthens your whole body. It increases. It just brings so much awareness to your body. So with the standing meditation and the sitting meditation, you become aware of the tension where you're holding tension in your body,
mm,
and you learn how to expand it. And you can really feel it. And then you learn how to relax it, and you quiet down your mind. So it's a beautiful bridge between the mental, physical, and spiritual. It really
mm.
tunes you into kind of sort of like the conversation we were having before we came on, of being able to open up your consciousness to a higher vibration, a higher level. And then just through movement, and I like Dr. Amen when he talks about brain health. Um, when the body moves, the brain grooves, and every area that the brain is injured, it doesn't have good blood flow. One of the things that is prescribed is movement. It heals every area of the brain that is not functioning properly. So that's really the beauty of Tai Chi, Qigong, and any of the really really good yoga, all those types of modalities that really incorporate the mental, physical, and spiritual aspects. It just brings it all into one. And you can really, it's just really powerful, really powerful.
And with what you are doing now, because I know that right now part of what you are doing is helping people to improve their mental healthness and wellness as a complete, but you have something unique that you are mixing the four things that you already knew. So how
Mhm.
they interact, how you feel that they interact, and how you feel that the even the way that you do the coaching interacts with others, so you connect, okay, with all this energy in all these areas, and at the same time with the mindset and with the neuroencoding and with the brain health, like how they interact each other.
Well, I, what my main goal is to help people find their way back home. When I say that is come back home to their heart, come back home to who they are, and 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 start loving themselves again through self love. And what self love is just being okay with who you are, and being okay with who you are when you weren't so okay, like I was, like the story I told you, and
Yeah.
being okay. Hey, that's part of me, man. I thought, when everything fell apart, I was like, oh gosh, I got to start over. And I was like, no, I'm 61 years old. I've got a lifetime experience. I just bring it all. It's part of me. And I had to go through that to be able to come so I can help other people going through the same stuff, help them come back home like the creator did. I mean, right. uh, he showed me how to come back home to my heart. And that's where the medicine's at. All the answers, when we're coaching, all the questions that when we coach, what are we doing? We're guiding the client back because they have their own answers, but we just have to lead them back to that answer, right?
Yeah.
So it's bringing each, kind of helping them come back home. The creator sprinkles little gifts and opportunities and messages out there for us every day. It took a 2x4 for me to finally, I had to see stars, man, to find my way to him to wake me up. But there's a gentler way, if we can just stop and open one of those gifts and go, oh, have that aha moment. He's sprinkling them out there, or she, or however you want to view it. They're out there every day. We bump them up. We bump up against them. It might be a total stranger that says something. You go, oh my gosh, or a flower, whatever. It, and it's just to bring you back home. Because distraction is everywhere. Distraction steals our power. Empowerment heals.
Mm.
And coming back home and we're so easy to give away our power. We're like, oh, take it, take it. No, it's we want you. So through the neural encoding, getting further faster, teaching people using the stop technique, pattern interrupts and those things. It keeps people, gets them to default back to their higher self. So we want to break those patterns. So those for me, my old, I had to break myself away from that abandoned, rejected, broken boy. I had to break that because I kept falling back into that, and I get stuck in this. So with the neural coding and the stop technique, and then just getting my brain healthier, then I'm like, oh, that story doesn't work. So now I changed, and I'm every day I'm becoming a stronger version of myself. So we default our back. We change our state, right? And so we can always default back to our higher self.
And I remember,
Makes
and
sense?
tell me if I am wrong, but I remember that a few months ago you started to work with some youth to help them to go through this program. The
Well, I was able to. I got invited to go speak to some eighth grade art students. And,
exactly.
yep, and that was a wonderful experience, and I'm sure I'm going to get invited back to do that. But so I want to tell this story. This is this is an amazing thing that happened. A childhood friend of mine, we lost contact for 10 years, and she called me up out of the blue last spring, and she and her husband had bought a property about 30 miles from here, and they're wanting she's building she wants to build a learning center because her oldest son, was killed in a tragic event 12 years ago. That was the last time I saw her, was at Nick's funeral. And she didn't know I was doing any of this stuff. She knew I taught Tai Chi, and she's like, I want you to come out here and teach. So she ended up hiring me as she was my first client. She's got cancer. She's fighting leukemia. She's up at the Cancer Center of Treatment of America at the moment. Yet we have this great dream that as she comes out of that and the center gets built, it's going to be, we had 68 acres of wooded land and prairie, and
Mm.
we're going to teach classes to help kids find their way, find their passions in life, and uh, reconnect to nature. And we're going to have, the vision is, teach Tai Chi, yoga, art, have cooking classes. So that's where a lot of my energy is going to go once, in the next year. It's a beautiful area. It's going to be amazing. I'd love to have you come visit.
Yeah, I will love to be there, and for sure we will be there.
Bring your boys, and yeah, it's going to be fun. It's just amazing. What has opened up. I get goosebumps all the time. It's like, what the heck? Because
And quick question: when you think about that, do you think or do you feel that you are helping that boy of you when you were a young guy that were having all the problems that you were saying before, or how do you feel about it?
I do, I really do. I connect to kids that when I coach little league when my from oldest son all the way up, and every year there's always kids that no other coach wants. I took them,
Mm.
and I loved them up. you know, Gave
And
them.
what do you feel in that energy? How do you feel that?
How do I feel about what?
Like the connection that you have with them, and how what are
Oh,
the things that you can
you
see
know,
there?
you know, I just listened to them, and I'd ask them. I said, "What lights you up?" And what is so amazing, Alejandro? Each one of them said art. They
Mm,
loved to draw when they were either drawing or writing. And just because I took the time, because kids just want to be seen, they want to be heard, and they want to be understood, and they want to be respected. And that when they hit a certain age, they don't get that,
mm.
and then they shut off. And then if they're on the outside, they're not real athletic or something. They're outsider kids, and then they get you know, and then man, they just light up. Man, it's just amazing.
Oh, that's huge, and that's why I wanted to ask you that part. So I know that we are talking about these techniques that we use in neuroencoding. Do you want to share one of those, like the stop technique, how it works?
Uh, sure. Yeah, for me, so yeah, it's just like anytime you have a thought that keeps coming up, especially if it's a limiting one. How many people out there uh, beat yourself up,
Yeah.
right? You go, oh man, I could, oh, I'm so stupid, right? Man, yada yada yada. So anytime that thought comes in, whatever it was, I always thought, man, I'm such a loser, and be so you that thought would come in, and you just do a power move. It's like you could either you come up with a word, say halt, stop, cancel, whatever it is, and then just do a power move. It's like, I'm amazing, yes, and you got to smile, you know.
That is key. Yeah.
The smile is the most. When we started off, you were talking about energy. What are some of the easiest ways to create energy? Smiling is number one. Drink plenty of water. Movement. Get a lot of rest and smile and think happy thoughts. And the stop technique stops you from going down that spiral of negative self talk. So anytime you feel that I was like, oh, I'm such a loser. Oh my gosh. And then you go, no, I'm freaking amazing. Yes. And smile.
Even if you don't feel it at the beginning, because that's the key. Sometimes it's like, I don't feel like I am amazing, but you start to talk to yourself like, I am amazing.
What I would do, Alejandro, is I would practice it on my way home from work because I would practice and I'd be like, I'm such a loser. No, I am freaking amazing. I'm a loser. No, I'm freaking amazing. I'm driving down the road. Who knows? They probably think I'm really crazy. you know, but that's what I did, and it slow. It does. It opens up bigger. It's neuroplasticity in the brain. We create new pathways, and that's the amazing thing. That is so one of the amazing things I learned from Dr. Amen's work is because of neuroplasticity, we are not stuck with the brain we have. Thank goodness, because You saw some of the scans. I was one. I was that guy with.
Exactly, that was what I was going to
I had
tell
holes
you.
in my. I looked like a Green Bay Packers fan. The cheesehead dude. That was me, man. That was me. And I'm like, I would love to see now because I'm sure the blood flow is so much better through because I take so much. Next month it'll be 2 years clean and sober. March 17th.
Wow.
Give myself a high five.
That's another technique, and that it's those
Yeah,
are very very simple things, but really
very very simple. Very
can
simple.
change because at the end, what happens is your subconscious is thinking like, I don't know what is happening here, but I like it, you know.
It is, and the other thing since then, so Joseph McClendon third, I hired Venu. I hired my first coach back in July, and life changing. And well, we need people to help us see things from different perspectives. As we've all learned from our mastermind group, we grow from other people's experience. And my new man, I took a couple courses from Janet Atwood. I took her passion test course, which is amazing. She's an amazing, amazing woman. So I'm a passion test facilitator, and I'm also took her self love mastery course. And for anybody that thinks self love is easy, it's not, but it is essential. It is essential. And I'm not certified yet. I still got some things I got to do to be certified to teach that course, but it's powerful. And so, between the Dr. Amon's work, uh, the neurocoding work with Joseph McClendon, the two pieces with Janet, the self love mastery course and passion test, and then my Tai Chi and Qigong background, I've got that's just bring it all together, and I just care.
No, and what I love about you really is that you are a living example of that. Because Dr. Amen is saying, okay, you are not stuck with the brain that you have, you can improve it and you can show it. Because you were saying, like, I was with a brain of maybe 68 years old, and suddenly right now you're in a 51, 53, as you were saying before. So that is huge. It's really at the end, you are a living example that you can become better just by taking a good decision.
Yeah,
Maybe
it
you
all.
are having some problems, maybe you are going through a lot of issues in your life, maybe you are struggling with things that are happening with the pandemic, with people that you are losing, or I don't know. You were talking about that with your wife, ex-wife,
Yeah,
uh, but really, even when you are losing that, you can start to work on yourself and start to do the thing that you love. And the other thing that I love about what you shared today is when you were loving yourself and taking the time to take care of yourself, you were right. When you decided, okay, I'm going to give up these things because I want to keep this marriage, you started to go down, down, down until at the end you lose the the marriage at the same time because you forget forgot about yourself.
I
Like
did.
you decided like, okay, I don't matter. I want to all the thing to matter. And really, when you lose yourself, you lose everything.
Well said. Life happens between B and D, and in the middle is C. That's our choices. It's all the. That's everything. And the choices we make just define who we become. And the healthier we are, and the better people we hang around with, we make better choices, and then we make a beautiful ripple out into the universe, and that's what we need. Need to melt the ice around the hearts of the world leaders so that they have more love and can be to support life instead of what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I love it, David. So, and really, thank you. Tell us a little bit of how people can reach you, how they can connect with you if they want to. But really, at the end, this is neuroencoding with different techniques. So that makes you unique in the way
Yeah,
that you are doing.
yeah. It's all about happy energy, man. Happy
Exactly.
energy. So yeah, I got Facebook, You can get me on Facebook, through LinkedIn, my email. Working on getting a website out. Don't have that up yet. You can direct message me through Facebook, and I'll have a bigger presence eventually. Sooner, with your help, my friend. Again,
Awesome.
yeah.
No,
All right.
and you can reach me also if you have some questions and you want to talk with David. I have his access and everything, so you can reach me. And thank you very much, David. Today was amazing. I knew that we were going to have your heart in the middle of this conversation, so that was exactly what I wanted to share to people. Like, you're a living example of what is neuroencoding and what it's about. So that's exactly what I wanted to share here today, and thank you for being here and sharing that with everybody, from your struggles to becoming a person that is still working in a lot of the things, but at the same time you know the techniques. And the good thing is you are living the techniques, not only saying like, okay, these are techniques that these
Yeah.
guys are telling that are good, that maybe are going to help you. I don't know, because they're not helping me, but maybe they can help you because I know them. It's not like that. It's something like, okay, I learned these techniques, I apply them in my life, and they are working, and they are have helping me the whole
Yeah.
these 2 years. So this is great.
Yeah, like Joseph says, physician, heal thyself first.
Exactly.
And teacher, live the teaching, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Thank
do you have any last word or phrase that you want to share with anybody that is listening to us? I know that we have some, you have some fans here writing.
Oh, hey, look at that. I just,
We have Paola, Dominica, and several
oh, good. All right. Awesome.
connecting.
Just, I think smile. When you see somebody, just greet them with a smile. Use Joseph's 50-foot rule. Start showering people with love. Total strangers. I've had so many amazing conversations, and you never know what anybody's going through. But you might create their only smile for the day. So just greet them with a smile and something kind, and be grateful. Gratitude is probably one of the biggest superpowers, and and that's really what one of the things that helped me. I just started thinking, I was like, every night before I went to bed, what am I grateful for? Every
Mm,
morning, start off with gratitude. Be grateful. Uh, what we appreciates, and the more we appreciate gratitude and love, the more that'll show up in your life.
awesome.
Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Take that one to the bank.
Awesome, David. Thank you very much. Today was amazing. And really, if you really want to start to live your life differently, you need to start to work in some of these techniques, because they are going to really help you.
Yep.
And I am living with that also as David. And those are parts of the things that we are teaching from different perspectives. But really, the idea is to help you improve. And with this world that is going crazy with different angles in different ways and different parts of the world, we really need to focus in ourselves to improve ourselves so we can help more people. Thank you, David. Thank you, everyone. Believe in yourself, believe in your business. That's exactly what we are aiming for here. Goodbye.
Awesome. Thank you all.